evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Thank you so much for coming with us to Space Camp. And I hope that music in the intro was a good segue into the childlike wonderment with which we will approach our event today. My name is Stephanie Perotti. I'm the director of Shaping EDU. Thank you guys so much for finding your way through the Zoom difficulties this morning into Space Camp. So I appreciate you guys coming and playing with us in outer space today. Here we go. Let's look at our global virtual summer camp by the numbers. So we have today a small portion of the 36 speakers. We will be doing this for 3 half days. So we'll be together for the next 3 days, talking to 36 speakers. We have 25 sessions that we've planned for you, and we have 322 folks who will be joining us. If you haven't already followed us on social and participated in the conversations that we're having there, please find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. LinkedIn, we have lots of updates that happen on that page. So we do have our own page there. Twitter, we post a lot of updates to what's going on in our events and projects. And on YouTube, we have all of our videos archived from past events. So if you miss a session, you can come back and join us and then comment and participate in the fun. And we have to give another shout out to Shaping EDU. It's our 4th birthday. We have been working with you guys for 4 years to surface challenges in education and come up with solutions through our projects and various initiatives. So thank you guys so much for joining and participating all 4 years. So we have a code of conduct here at Shaping EDU. We have the ability to, if needed, have a conversation with you about maybe participating in another way. So please be respectful of your fellow participants. Please be empathetic to everyone's situation, and feel free to join another group if the group that you're participating in isn't a good fit for you. And most importantly, have fun. We're here to solve some challenges and address things as they happen in the wonderful world of education, but it's most important that we have fun while we're doing it. So wanted to introduce you guys to a new framework that's being created by our friends at University Design Institute. It's called the I-5 framework. And that is something that is used in communities of practice to keep everyone focused and on track. It's imagine, inform, inspire, influence, and innovate. And what we're focusing on today is the imagine, inform, and inspire component. So we'll spend our first 2 days together learning about what's going on in the wonderful world of education. And that will also inform the decisions that we make in our day 3 project. And then in day 3, we hope to inspire everyone to get their own communities of practice a little closer to this utopian environment that we're going to create. So what, if anything, was possible? That's really what we're here for. We're not actually going to space. Hope we're not disappointing anybody by letting you know that. So we want to create a world in which we have some suspended disbelief, and we want to create some theoretical framework. And what this allows us to do is really take some of the walls that may exist in our mind about addressing challenges, and then we can create new solutions that might not have been possible if we were stuck within the parameters of what we currently have to work with. So our big events always have a theme, and our theme today is going to outer space and planning for Mars. But this helps us get from yes, but embracing obstacles that are around us to really removing those obstacles and saying yes, and we can do this because. So this gives us permission to be honest, which allows us to become informed. So Shaping EDU, everything that we do is fueled by our 5 calls to action. So we have our current 5 calls to action are designing the dynamic new now, humanizing and democratizing learning, fostering serious play, which we'll experience quite a bit of over the next 3 days, and empowering builders of digital fluency and digital inclusion, And then we have a group that's focusing on enabling data-driven and evidence-based learning futures. So for those of you that joined us in February or are familiar with our Pente Pitch Challenge event, this is an example of what we do to embrace those 5 calls to action. So we had groups in February that created and pitched projects. And then we've been working on those projects throughout the year, and we'll hear some updates from those groups throughout the next 3 days. So this is Shaping EDU's approach to surfacing and tackling challenges. So we have our calls to action, as I mentioned, that fuel everything that we do. We have our global community. That's you. You guys, we listen to you. We invite you to participate in our projects. And we create action teams. And those teams come together and work on things throughout the year. And then we create free shareable resources that we then pass along to our friends around the world to take back to their own communities of practice. And in doing that, we foster change. So what we'll do together for the next 3 days, 3 half days, we respect the fact that you guys have a lot of work to do, but we appreciate that you guys are coming in to play in our sandbox. So we're going to explore new technology, what's on the horizon, and then we're going to talk about what's working, what's not working from education leaders here on Earth. And then on day 3, we're going to wipe the slate clean and design an education system for Mars from scratch. So the idea being, once we have this utopian education system, we figure out how we get a little closer to that here on Earth. So day 1, you can see we're going to have morning sessions. Each day will kick off at 8 o'clock, and then we'll have to have workshops between, and this is all in Pacific time, folks. So we will have our workshops between 9 and noon. Then we'll come together and share out what we've learned, have some key takeaways that we can take into the next days and then into our own communities of practice. And then we'll wrap up each day with a series play studio project led by our friend Ruben Fuentedera. So what are we doing today? Today, we're going to first talk to Ruben, who's going to explain science fiction as a metaphor, why it's important that we look at things through a different lens and how we can use science fiction to let our mind be free and embrace challenges in a new way. Then we'll have 45-minute sessions with 15-minute breaks in between. So you can choose which session you'd like to go to. And then we'll all come back together at noon Pacific time, talk about what we've learned together. And then we'll have a chat with Brent today from our friends over at Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College here at ASU. And we'll wrap up the day with Ruben doing a flash fiction exercise where we'll create 6-word stories. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. Day 2, we'll have a similar pace where we'll start out in the morning. We'll hear from our friends over, Kim actually is going to join us and talk about gender and race equity in space. And then we'll have, again, 9 sessions for you to choose from. And then we'll come back together, talk about Earth's top education systems. And then we'll talk to our friends at Robots and Pencils about the future of communication. And we'll wrap up the day again with another series play studio exercise. And on day 3, we'll take everything that we've learned together and come together and talk about what it is that we can do to create our optimum education system for Mars. The planet is quite irrelevant. We're really just trying to remove the barriers in our minds about what we can accomplish in designing a new education system. And then we'll actually figure out each of these sections. You can choose a team. We're not assigning teams. You can choose whatever team you want to. And if you go into a team and it's not a good fit for you, you're free to change teams. So we have one team focusing on curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment. We have another team that's focused on learning environments of the future, and another team that's focused on leadership and culture. So whatever you feel the most passion for, please join that team and help them design this new education system for another planet.